Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We're here at the Emirates. We've got AFTV. Robbie, how you doing?
It's a beautiful stadium that is. You love that, isn't it?
I was here half an hour before you. I had a walk round and I thought it's really dull. It's just a modern stadium to me, but I've never been in it. I preferred Highbury. I'm old school, but
yeah, Highbury was nice, man. But this is nice. So, you know, when you go in there, right? There's screens in there as well. So when there's like when there's a goal scored in that, you can see a replay, unlike at Old Trafford, where there's no screens.
I do like the replays. Anyway, first question I want to ask: Manchester United versus Arsenal, Friday night FA Cup. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the manager. Arsenal opinion. Who do you not want us to get out of Pochettino? Well, who do you want us to get, and who would you not like us to get? Pochettino, Zidane, Solskjaer.
I think I'd rather you guys stick with Solskjaer. I think he's done a great job, don't get me wrong. He's been fantastic since he's come in. He's got got you playing like Man United again, right? But I don't know, I think Pochettino's a grade up. Even though he ain't won nothing yet, I'm always getting a lot of stick because I've been on various programmes like TalkSport and that, and I've said that I think he's a very good manager, but he's not great because he's never won anything. Until you win something, you can't be classed as But I think if he did go to United, with the resources that United have got, that he could possibly win things. And obviously Zidane's a winner. So if I had to go for one out of the three, I'd have to say, yeah, stick with Solskjaer. Because, yeah, it's going brilliantly at the moment. But I think I could have come in and got a reaction as well. I think you could have gone in and got a reaction because Mourinho was just so hated at the club. It was obvious. None of them liked him. None of them were really playing for him. He was always digging out his players in public. You know, it was with Luke Shaw and Pogba and Martial and long list. I can just imagine that dressing room and the training ground. They probably just, you know, they'd had enough and they just didn't like him. So I think anybody who came in who, you know, created a good vibe around the place, which Solskjaer has with his team, was always going to get something out of them because you've got, and I've been saying this for ages, I said it to Flex many times, you've got brilliant players. There's no doubt about it. You've got outstanding players, but I just think it was Mourinho. So, out of all of them, Solskjaer.
Do you not think it's a bit like Emery, though? Because I did say in the summer, and on your preview as well, that with Emery, I think if he'd got top four for Arsenal, he would deserve Player of the Year. Manager of the Year, not Player of the Year. Because you've got no money, and I think that squad needs a lot of work to get top four comparable to everyone else. Very similar for Solskjaer. I agree that somebody would come in and improve, but the improvement has been to such a good level at United. Yeah. You know, the whole squad's rejuvenated. Even people are happy to sit on the bench. They've won 7 in a row. I think, yeah, anybody was going to improve us, but I think Solskjaer has shocked many United fans, even me. I was like, I was Pochettino 4 weeks ago. Now I'm like, we can wait till May, but he's a Man United fan. He gets what the club's all about. And I it's interesting, though, that you would prefer us to go for Solskjaer over Pochettino.
Yeah, listen, he's done a great job. I don't think he's had the job that he's had is way easier than what Unai Emery's had. I mean, Unai Emery, you're taking over from a manager that's been there for 22 years. You've got a squad that, you know, there's a lot of average players in that squad, you know what I mean? And you've been given virtually pennies to spend in the transfer market. So I think the job that Unai Emery's done is very underrated, what he's done here. I mean, he's the way he's handling this club at the moment, I think he's doing a great job with limited funds. Whereas at Man United, you know, you're going in, you've already got Pogba, you've got Martial, you've got Rashford, you've got Lukaku, you've got all these great players, Alexis Sanchez and that. You know, all you've got to do is get a few of those playing and you're back up to speed again. And then, as well, you've got to remember, and I'm not belittling what Solskjaer done, but he has come in on a run of winnable games. I would have looked at all of those games, apart from the Tottenham game, and I would have said probably Mourinho could have won all of those games as well.
Especially the one coming up on Friday.
Not that one. But I just think where I feel the difference is between Solskjaer and Mourinho is the style in which he's won those. So the game against Cardiff where you won, I think it was 5-1, was it? Yeah. I think Mourinho, once that went 2-0 up, he would have just shut up shop. He would have told everybody to defend. He would have brought Fellaini on and stuff like that. And whereas Solskjaer has just said to the guys, go and play, go and enjoy yourself. And I think that's what he's done brilliantly. But it's still early days, man. And, you know, this is a big test for Solskjaer this week. I hope we play our strongest team. And if we do, we'll give anybody a game here. You know what I mean? Only Man City have beaten us here this season. And that was the first game of the season. And, we held Liverpool there. We beat Chelsea here last week. We destroyed Tottenham here. Don't be coming down here. I don't think, I've seen a lot of comments from United fans. I've seen a lot of United fans rants and bants, and these guys are all really enthusiastic. And they should be, because you've been on a great streak. But don't come down there and think this is no joke team. Away from home, we've been indifferent. Here at the Emirates, we're strong. Friday night, FA Cup. I think that you're in for a very, very tough test. And even when I look back at the Spurs game, don't get me wrong, outstanding. I keep saying don't get me wrong, but it was an outstanding victory by Manchester United. But De Gea saved a lot of chances. I think if you give up those sort of chances to Lacazette and Aubameyang, I think they'll take them. So it's going to be a great game.
Definitely. And let's not forget, 3-1 November.
You keep reminding me about that.
I just love that game.
That,
I absolutely love that game, and De Gea was better in that game. But no, I agree with you, Robbie. I think the FA Cup game, it's only the fourth round, not normally that important, but because it's Arsenal, it's got a lot on it, and I think both clubs are in a similar situation. Obviously, Solskjaer's only just come in recently, but Emery as well. I would agree. I think United have got a better team than Arsenal on paper. But as I said, there are similarities as well. How do you think he will approach this? Well, there's two questions I want to ask, actually. 22 games unbeaten. Obviously, Arsenal fans were getting very excited. As a non-Arsenal fan, I think Arsenal, I just feel that, even when you were doing that well, it's a bit like an elephant on thin ice. You're going to fall through it at some point. Did you expect that? And are you realistic about, because it's not just about the FA Cup, this is also about a bit of one-upmanship about the race for top four, because we're both same points, you slightly better goal difference. Does that sort of falter from Arsenal concern you? Do you think you're going to bounce back?
It was concerning. Obviously, we had over the Christmas period, we had some poor results. But I think if you dig a bit deeper into what happened around those results, we've had a lot, and I know it's an easy thing to use, but we have had dreadful injuries this season. Welbeck, who was playing brilliantly at the start of this season, I think having his best season here, brilliant impact player to bring off in every game, out for the rest of the season. Well, you laugh. Remember when he came to your place in the FA Cup? You keep reminding me about that 3-1. Do you remember that? Kissing the badge? Yeah, that was better than the Millie Rock, I'll tell you that. But Welbeck out for the season. Then we had Rob Holding, who was like the best, probably our best defender in bringing the ball out from the back, is the way in which the manager wants to play. He gets injured, out for the season. We've got Bellerin now, out for the season. We at that time as well, Mustafi was out for about 6 weeks. Socrates was out. We virtually had our whole Monreal out. So the injuries to our defence was horrific in that period. And we were not playing the team that we was playing at the start of the season. And remember, our squad, that's the problem. We've not got that squad like what you guys have got, where, if, say, Lindelof gets injured, you can bring in a Baye. We haven't got that. So that coincided with the really poor results. And as I said, that's why Unai Emery's doing a good job, because we just don't have the resources. And it does worry me now to get into the top four, especially with Bellerin being out, especially with the fact that we're not going to be able to spend any money in January. It worries me because, this is where a team like your team now comes into your own, because you've got a much stronger squad. So it worries me in that aspect. But I know that, if we've got our top 11 out, we can hurt any team in the Premier League. I think you've got the two standout teams, City and Liverpool, that are above us. But everybody else in around us, we've shown this season we haven't lost it. We didn't lose to you at Old Trafford. You should have won that. You should have won that. Should have won that game, right? We beat Tottenham here. We beaten Chelsea. We shouldn't have lost to Chelsea away either. When we lost 3-2. So it's not a bad team here. It's not a bad team, but the squad is thin. The squad is thin.
I think it's going to be an interesting next few months because you've got FA Cup, obviously. Yep. To be honest with you, Emmerdale Cup. Top four.
You weren't calling it that when you won it, did you?
To be honest, I didn't like it when we were in it. But
I don't like it. But
that is a problem for you
got
as
you
well.
back into the Champions League, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think the crowning for everybody is the fact that Spurs are decimated, and I know they got away with it at the weekend, but that's top four anyway.
Yeah.
FA Cup on Friday. What's your thoughts about it? What do you fear about United? Obviously, De Gea is always fear. But, Pogba's rejuvenated, your
He's,
midfield.
for me, the player I fear the most is Pogba. You know what I mean? I've been saying for a long time, even when things were going bad, I've been saying he's a world-class player. Kai won the World Cup. I think people forget. That's why I can never understand how Mourinho is handling a guy who's just won the World Cup. You're supposed to bring that guy back in and say, hey, play. You're supposed to build a team around him. And I couldn't understand why he didn't do that, but he's back now. He's a top-class player, and I think if we don't keep him quiet in that game, we're going to be in big trouble. So I think Arsenal got to do a job on Pogba. And I think what I like about Unai Emery is that, unlike, it's kind of the difference with Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger was just like, go out there, play. You guys are top-quality players, attack. Unai Emery thinks a lot more about tactics. You saw that against Chelsea. The second half of the game, I think we only had about 30% possession. So I think he'll send out those players. I think he's going to have some sort of tactic to try and deal with Pogba. If you can stop the flow and stop it from Pogba, I think, you can go a little way to stopping Manchester United, and stop. And also I think we've got to stop the balls when they're going out wide. We've got to try and, which is going to be difficult now that Bellerin's out, but we've got to try and handle the two wide players as well. But he'll have a game plan against Manchester United for definite, and it's going to be a really interesting game.
You talk about Bellerin, it's interesting. I think Anthony Martial will have a massive part in that game. I don't know who you'll play at right back, but I mean, I hope we don't see a return of Alexis Sanchez, because you can take Sanchez out of Arsenal, but you can't take Arsenal out of Sanchez. He's terrible, absolutely terrible.
I heard something today where they said that he's only scored 3 goals since he's been at Manchester United. I think it's a year, because he moved in January. Yeah, he moved in January, and he's only scored 3 goals. I mean, listen, he's the world-class player, but I don't know what's happened to this guy. I mean, is he the biggest flop of all time at Man United? I mean, because he went in with all that hype, he's playing that piano and all those things, and
it was a good day. I remember you saying it was going to happen a week before.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've been shocked at how bad he's been. Because he was a brilliant player here, but I ain't going to say too much because he could come back and haunt us.
Shoe on the other foot, I haven't took a lot of notice. How's it been with Mkhitaryan? Because he's a player that we felt we didn't get a lot out of. Again, it doesn't look like he's hit the ground here either.
He's been a bit disappointing, Mkhitaryan, but he has scored goals, and he's a miss as well, because he's out.
Linking up with Aubameyang,
he's out as well at the moment, so it's a bit disappointing that he missed this game. But even though he's not really lived up to it, he has scored goals, so I think he's a much better return than what Alexis Sanchez has given. But still, Mkhitaryan's still got a lot to do here to win everybody over, because there have been some people who have been a bit disappointed with him so far.
We were talking on Robbie's preview about the French Charlie Austin Lacazette, and I sort of regret it a little bit, because it might come back and bite me. But
I told you, man.
But Ransom Vance did call Aubameyang the Gabon Jamie Vardy. I reckon that one might be coming back a little bit more.
You lot better be careful.
I like Aubameyang.
You're talking about 2 world-class strikers. I'm sorry. To me, Lacazette is one of the most explosive players in the box in the Premier League, without doubt. And Aubameyang is a proven goal scorer and a world-class striker. And I think, you're playing a dangerous game dissing those two. I'm not gonna diss. I'm not going to diss your guys, right? Because I'm not going to diss Martial. Definitely going to diss Rashford, because I know that they're great players, right? But you're dissing Lacazette and Aubameyang, to me, to probably the best combination in the Premier League right now. Firmino, Salah, maybe. That's the only one I think comes close to it. So be careful,
Well, what price? Alexis Sanchez off the bench, 0-0, nice tight game. Whips one in the top corner. I tell you what, that'll make some interesting AFTV and chill.
He'll be doing his piano lessons, man. You know what I mean?
He might just sit there and do a little celebration in the centre circle. Lingard bends over to be the piano, and he's just there.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Listen, you know what? All these players we're naming out, they're all great players, isn't it? So that's why it's going to be a great game.
Give us your score prediction then, Robbie.
2-1. Going 2-1 Arsenal. The big boys are going to come to town, man. Aubameyang, Lacazette, one of them are going to score. But 2-1, and I think it's going to be a good game, an entertaining game.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1. I think United will have to do a lot of defending. We have got to respect Arsenal. Anyone who watched the game against Chelsea last week, they came out really fast the first 20 minutes. really, really fast the first 20 minutes. I just think it's going to be a good game, and I don't necessarily think it's going to happen anytime soon. But it'd be nice to get that rivalry back, because that was the Premier League's proper rivalry.
Yeah, it was right. And we don't, you say we come out fast, which we do, but we don't fade as well. We're a very fit team this year.
Yeah, we're not. We've not discussed that. We do fade. We faded against Spurs.
Yeah,
we faded against Brighton.
Also, if you look at all the stats, Emery's got them really fit this year, so they're a very fit team. They keep going. I just hope. My only thing is with Arsenal, I just hope we go with our strongest team, because I know we've got a lot of injuries and we've got a game the following week. I just hope that Emery goes strong. If we do, I'm going 2-1.
Great. Thanks for coming on, Robbie. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All the best after Friday. Come on, United!